And welcome to Game 2 of the doubleheader between your Xenia Scouts and the Northern Ohio Baseball Club as they're trying to get situated here in the press box. First pitch to Lee Solomon goes a little bit high for Mark Midiga. Scouts won the first game 3-2. Quick turnaround here for Game 2. And the windup of the pitch for Midiga, that one's going to be grounded over there towards third, but foul. Solomon is now has the 1-1 count. Thank you for listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball. Myself, Terry Lash, and my broadcast partner, Lance Morris. Trying to give you every game we possibly can. As that one's going to be grounded over towards third, picked up and thrown to first in time to gun Lee down. So that was a nice play over there by Aiden Campbell. Threw it to handle at first base, who came in last game for Vilk, who got that arm injury after being ran into by Lincoln Reed. We just got our rosters and everything. We're trying to write those down quickly, folks, so bear with us here as we play a full 9 here in the second game of the doubleheader. Christian Binger at the plate looks at the first one for a strike. Scouts again won 3-2 to move to 11-4 on the year. Second pitch is fouled, out of play towards the bullpen. Maybe some porter potties over there is going to make it an 0-2 count quickly for Christian Binger. 0-2. Tipped backwards, kind of 0-2. So Mark Midiga on the mound for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. Similar lineup for the Scouts. You have Cale Giddings and Zach Wiley coming to the game in Game 2. And that one misses just outside for a ball. So Binger might have gone down looking at that one. Binger got on a couple of walks in the first game. Was also hit by a pitch. Scored on a pass ball. Finished 0 for 1. They got on 3 times. Swings and turns that one foul down the first baseline. Will Cruz getting the start today for the Scouts in game number 2. Will has 1 win on the year. And also lost last time we came to the Pipeyard. And that 12-3 blowout, the worst loss of the year for the Scouts, as that one's in the dirt. The chalk flies, and now the count is even at 2-2. And after Christian on deck right now, it's Kyle Carnahan, the third baseman, Mr. Hot Corner, and Christian again fouls it off. So staying alive is Christian Binger, the second baseman from Southwest Baptist, and something we may not mention enough. Christian is normally an outfielder. Started the year in right field, but moved in to replace Jonathan Bravo, who is a second. Now Christian has kind of made that position his own on the team. Here comes the 2-2 to Binger. Swung on and miss. The ball will be dropped, and they'll throw it over to first base and put him away. So a strikeout for Christian, and the first 2 Scouts go down.
And that's something we rarely see from Christian at the plate. He has the team lead in walks with, I think he's up to 11 now on the season after the couple from last game. So definitely a guy who's patient at the plate, even when the count's against him, and just managed to go down the strike zone. Still works the count very well.
And Midiga's pitch to Carnahan is fouled just a shade to the left of that third base bag. So Scouts down to their last out here in the top of the first inning. From the windup, here comes Midiga. Northern Ohio Baseball Club in their white and whites. That one's headed to deep left field. And it's going to go off the wall, and it is. It's going to get past Kajanik over there in left field, and it's going to be a stand-up double from Kyle Carnahan. I thought Kajanik was going to get under it, but it comes off. That poster out there in left field. What does that say? Kelly Ferraro?
I think it does.
The Kelly Ferraro poster
Don't know what
is
that
the
means.
bullseye.
Don't know what that is.
Don't either, Lance, but it means a double for Kyle Carnahan, who now stands in scoring position. Also single back in the first game, and that's going to lead David Gaunt to the plate. David did walk in the first game, but was unable to get on base besides that.
Yeah, went over 3 in game 1.
Here comes the first pitch to him. A little bit low from Mitiga for a strike.
That was a ball.
For a ball, that's why it was low. Good assist there, Lance Morris. Runner on second, 2 down, top first. Here's the throw. That one's going to be fouled backwards. It's been a long day.
That it has. Didn't know if we were going to actually make the trip up here. We didn't know. Originally, we were supposed to play at Strongsville, like you said, but their field just couldn't handle the weather the last couple of days. We were trying to see if they could maybe come down to Xenia, having our all-turf facility, but weren't able to find enough people to make the drive, so ended up coming here to Lorain County.
And that one also high to David Gaunt. Count is now 2-1 to David, who's playing designated hitter today. Some catcher in the first game of this doubleheader. Zach Wiley behind the plate in game 2. You usually don't see catcher play 2 consecutive games in a doubleheader. It's a lot on the body. Here comes the pitch to David. He checks it, but it goes for a strike anyway. Evens it up at 2-2. Northern Ohio Baseball Club has now lost 10 straight and are 2-10 on the year. Kyle Carnahan over there, second. Swing on and miss. David Gaunt goes down. And after the top of the first inning, it is still 0-0 as Lee Solomon grounds out to third. Christian Binger strikes out. And then David Gaunt also strikes out, swinging. And Kyle Carnahan got that double. So a good start of the game for Mark Mitiga, who gives up 1 hit but has a couple strikeouts and sets down the Scouts.
So the Scouts able to get Kyle Carnahan on the base pass, had a stand-up double. His first hit of game 1. That was after Lee Solomon grounded out over to third baseman Campbell. Christian Binger worked the count, but ended up going down on strikes for the first time in game 1. And Carnahan, like we mentioned, had the double. And David Gaunt also just recently went down on strikes. So 2 strikeouts so far from Mitiga. And Mitiga, he's from Uniontown, Ohio, went to high school at Walsh Jesuit and goes to college at Walsh University. So I guess you could say Walsh is in his blood.
Yeah, he's got one of many of those Walsh Jesuit from Cuyahoga Heights players that all play together in high school. A lot of members from the Strongsville high school team here as well. A lot of Mustang representation. Remember, the Northern Ohio Baseball Club usually plays their games in Strongsville, but had to be moved here to Lorain County in the Pipeyard because Mills Field was underwater. It was drowning a bit, needed some scuba gear, and we moved over to the west about 30 minutes. Still had over a 3-hour drive up here. Got here about 2:45 maybe, and then the first game scheduled at 3:05 originally was moved back to 3:30. So it's been a day of flexibility. We heard it today from Kyle Wenning, our discipler. One of the best abilities you can have is flexibility, and the Scouts have exemplified it this afternoon.
And game 1 ended at 6:59. Game 2 started at 7:29. So right exactly a half hour later.
The umps are on it today.
And why wouldn't they be after almost hour and a half rain delay?
So Will Cruz coming to the mound for his parent, the designated hitter. Goes bunt, but it moves outside for a ball. Played second base last game. Swung on and a miss. Count is now 1-1 to start the game here for Will Cruz. And the pitcher from Hillsdale College in Michigan. The 1-1 from Will, and it's outside for a ball. So 2-1 now. Scouts trying to get 2 games here at the Pipeyard. That one outside corner for a strike. Will is dealing here against Forrest Perrin. Kajanik on deck. Here comes the 2-2 and just misses barely. Will Cruz did not miss that one by much, and now we have a full count Will's a classic pitch to contact type pitcher. Gets a lot of full counts. Now one swung on and missed. Will says he doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, but he gets one to start the game. As Perrin goes down swinging. So good start for Will Cruz, the righty from Grosse Park, Michigan. That's going to bring Kajanik to the plate. Here comes the first pitch to him. That one's low and in the dirt for a ball. Brett Kajanik struggled in game one. Swung on and missed. So even it up at 1 apiece now to Brett Kajanik, the left fielder. Saw the ball in the top of the first, store of his head. A double by Kyle Carnahan. One out here in the bottom of the first. That was well inside, just misses hitting Brett. Now it's now 2-1. On deck will be Mike Reisner, and that one swung on and hit over to Christian Binger at second in the dirt. Throws a first, and Cale Giddings able to put that one away. Cale Giddings coming in for Lincoln Reed in game number 2. To be the third start of the year for Cale. Started against the Ironmen in that 14-inning affair. And started a game against the Mariners in that doubleheader, and starting game 2 of the doubleheader here against the Northern Ohio Baseball Club.
And a quick look around the league up in Flat Rock, Michigan. The Monarchs are on top of Lorraine County Ironman 1-0, and the Southern Ohio Copperheads are out at Lima, and that game is 0-0 in the bottom of the third.
Here comes Reisner, who homered and walked in the first game. He also almost homered back in the first inning of the first game. He took Q McGrath, who got his 4th victory of the season, a league-leading 4th victory, to left field, but missed foul in the first inning. Did not miss in the third as he put it away for a home run. That pitch goes for a strike. Count is now 1-1 here to Reisner with 2 outs. That was a bit high for a ball. Count is now 2-1 Reisner. A Brave from the University of Bradley in Peoria, Illinois. Wind up and throw. And that one's in there for a strike. Will Cruz looking solidly in control to start this bottom of the first. And here comes the 3-2. That one's going to be fouled backwards.
As those mayflies are going to scatter.
All right, something Lance and I talked about in the first broadcast. Pipeyard has been overrun by mayflies. Migrated from Lake Erie. Come every summer. They're quite the nuisance.
They are not fun creatures.
So one came up and kissed me in the first game. Here's the 2-2, and that one's a bit low. It's going to be another full count here for Will Cruz. Second one into the first inning. He had a plethora in his last outing against the Ironmen. Again, the Scouts lost 12-3. Payoff pitch. Here it comes. That one swung on. Chopped over to Kyle Carnahan third. He throws to first just in time, and that's going to do it. 1, 2, 3. The Northern Ohio Baseball Club goes down, and that's going to do it for the first inning, and we are tied at goose eggs. So Mike Mitiga and Will Cruz doing very well to start off this game. Mitiga gives up 1 hit, a double to Kyle Carnahan, and Will Cruz gives up 0 hits and gets a strikeout to start this game against Forrest Perrin. Thank you to everyone at home listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on a Monday afternoon. Scouts 11-4 on the year, trying to go to 12-4. Southern Ohio Copperheads playing the Lima Locos right now. The Locos were able to win that game, and the Scouts win here in Game 2. The Scouts be your number 1 team in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. As we're going to the top of the second inning. And Lance, what is the lineup for the Scouts here in inning number 2?
For the Scouts, it'll go 5, 6, 7. It'll be led off by Jonathan Bravo. He went 1 for 3 in game 1. Then it'll be Cale Giddings. He did not play in game 1. This will be his 3rd start of the year with the Scouts. And after him, it'll be Levi Gilcrease, the center fielder from Baylor, he went 1 for 2 in game number 1.
Now, usually when I ask Lance that question, it's just so the folks at home know what's going up. But I still haven't finished writing down all the names in my scoring book up here because we've been a little bit frazzled. We got our lineups down.
A little bit rushed here.
About 10 minutes before the game, we were raced up here to the top of the Pipeyard press box, and I had to get the stream going, and some social media related duties had to be done. So I'm still behind, so thank you, Lance, for helping me out as well.
Oh, no problem.
Jonathan Bravo had a solid game last time, did get that double in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to him, outside for a ball. Also scored the first run of the game. Walked and stole and then eventually scored. That one's outside as well. Remember that stolen base from Jonathan Bravo played late, and I still don't know what happened on because it looks like he was hosed down.
I'll have to ask him about that on the bus, right? He sits right in front of me.
But he was able to figure it out and get to second base as he watches that one go by, and it's 3-0 to Bravo. Came in the last game batting .308. I'm not sure what his batting average is at right now. I have to figure that one out as that one goes right down Main Street for a strike to Jonathan. Next pitch, that one's hit to deep left field, but it got a little too far under it. And Kajanik puts it away, backpedaling. That's really dangerous, especially with a wet field. Might step into a puddle, get your cleats loose in the mud and fall on your keister. Luckily, Kajanik is able to put that one in for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club's sake.
And yeah, when you see them going out there, especially in left field, I'm not too sure about how it is in center and right field, but there's definitely some water down there you can see as they take their steps.
Here's Cale Giddings. And he fouls the ball back towards us. 0-1 count now to Cale, the first baseman from Lake Erie College in Painesville, Ohio, east of Cleveland. We are technically west of Cleveland right now. Came in the game batting .286. That one's down the middle for a strike. So a quick 0-2 from Cale, and Mark Mitiga getting up early on these Scouts batters. 3-2. That one misses low. Good patience shown by Giddings. It's harder not to swing at that one, and you don't want to go down looking. 1-2. That one's high. Cale Giddings, a big man, sitting about 6'3", 245. Biggest man on the team, the first baseman. A righty versus righty battle. That one is in the dirt for a ball. So Cale works his way back from 0-2, and now it's full. At 3-2 with another payoff pitch incoming. There you go, working from the windup right now. No one on base. Top of the second inning. 1 out here. Here's the pitch. And that's ball 4. So the first walk of this ball game. That's going to go a full 9. We saw 7 walks in the last game from the starting pitcher.
Great patience up there by Giddings. He got down 0-2 initially, fouled off the first one, and then took strike 2, worked his way back to a full count, and eventually drew the walk.
Last time we saw Corey Teach out with 8 walks. That one's going to be hit over towards short, thrown over to second in time, and then easily on with the fielder's choice will be Gilcrease, but that's going to burn Cale Giddings over at the bag at second. So yet again is Aiden Campbell making that play. Routine play over a second. That's going to bring up Zach Wiley in the 8th spot. Playing catcher today. In game number 2, Wiley on the year is batting .208. This is his 10th game of the season. A pickoff attempt over there first for Gilcrease.
This will be Zach's first game since that long game against the Ironman. Didn't play in either of the games in the doubleheader last Friday.
And Gilcrease is on the move. He has 2 stolen bases on the year. Make it 3. Levi Gilcrease slides in. Cleats first into second. And is now in scoring position.
And that's something we always talk about with our speedy guys, especially with Gilcrease. Depending on the day between him and Solomon, it's who's the fastest. And he was out in front on that one. Easy steal for Gilcrease.
Mitiga still on the mound, the righty from Walsh University. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled out of play, way to the right behind the Scouts' dugout. So an 0-2 count now to Zach Wiley. Levi Gilcrease over there at second, scoring position. 0-0 is your score. That one's well outside for a ball. Eldridge behind the plate, getting his first action of the game. That one's going to be ripped over to right field and put away. So the Scouts go down. Jonathan Bravo flies out to left. Cale Giddings walks. Levi Gilchrist hits into a fielder's choice and then steals. And then Zach Wiley lines out to Damiano in right field. So 2 innings down for the Scouts at the plate, and we're unable to score a run in either inning. So we're going to the bottom of the second inning. 0-0. Zilch's across the board. Will Cruz coming back out there. Cruz had a fantastic first inning. 3 up, 3 down. Included a strikeout. And the Saints is live tweeting our games. We're a man down here. Jeff Connor, our normal tweeter on road games, is unable to be with us. I'll let him finish out that tweet and then give us the side, as first we have Handel, then Aiden Campbell, and then Damiano, as I have the lineup sheet right next to me. I don't even know why I had to have Lance give it to me. Now that's your side. Campbell did not play in the first game. He was on deck right now. Handel came in. Remember, after Vilk was injured at a collision at first base with probably, if not the second biggest guy on the team in Lincoln Reed, so that one had to hurt. Hopefully everything's okay with Vilk.
And a little bit of a scoring update. Cody Calloway hit a bomb to left to tie the game up at 1. They're going into the third there against the Monarchs.
So back here at the Pipeyard, going to the bottom of the second, here comes Hunter Handel from Akron, Ohio. Went to Green High School, went to Baldwin Wallace University. He's a Yellow Jacket. Hunter still sitting over there at first base like he did for almost all of game 1. Here comes the pitch from Cruz, and that one is skied high. Levi Gilcrease, Lee Solomon, and it's going to be caught off by Gilcrease, and I think anywhere that's in the grass is Levi Gilcrease's territory, Lance. He's going to call out. We saw him before go all the way to left field to catch a ball in front of Wyatt Hogan. I think that's just all his territory. The entire outfield is covered by Levi Gilcrease, who puts that one away. That's going to bring up Aiden Campbell. Goes to Western Illinois University, the Fighting Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Here comes the pitch. That one's a bit high to Campbell. Count is now 1-0. Here's the second pitch. That one's right down the middle. Strike number 1 evens it up at 1 apiece. As we have Antonio Damiano. That one's fouled to the left side on deck. Count is now 1-2. Well, Cruz looking for that second strikeout of the game. Here it comes. Outside, misses. Evens up at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. That one is fouled again. So Aiden Campbell in his first at bat of this long afternoon for these two squads. Doing a good job fighting off Will Cruz. 2-2. Low in the dirt. And that's going to be the third full count of the day already in the 5th batter Cruz has faced. We're going a full 9 innings here, so the Scouts definitely going to be looking at pitch counts from Will Cruz. Payoff coming. That's low, and that's going to be the first walk of the day for Cruz.
He just missed on that one to handle. Tried to get him to chase that one low and at the knees, and that one just went a little too low for ball 4.
So Aiden Campbell, the third baseman, is sitting on first base right now. He's going to bring up Antonio Damiano. He's playing right field in this game. It's Eric Eldred is on deck. First pitch, and that one's head to deep left field. Jonathan Bravo racing back towards it, and it is fair, just inside the line. Bravo's going to have to get it in. He mishandles the ball. Runners coming home. They got it to shortstop Lee Sullivan, and that's going to be a stand-up triple. That's going to bring home a run. So Damiano with a stand-up triple. The ball was misplayed in left field for Jonathan Bravo, but I don't know if it would have mattered anyway. It seemed like Campbell was going to come home to score easily. So the walk leads to the first earned run of the game, and the first time in these 2 games, the Scouts trail the Northern Ohio Baseball Club by a score of 1-0.
That one was just misfortunate there from Bravo. That one right down that left field line. With all that water out there, it makes it a little harder for him to move over and field properly. And there was great hit there from Campbell, but Bravo didn't have much of a chance out there with the conditions the way they are to help him out at all.
And here comes Eric Eldred, another righty. First pitch to him is a strike. So Will Cruz gives up a run here. The bottom of the second inning, the Scouts trail 1-0. Still 1 out. In the bottom of the second, I was going to hit over to Binger as second. Looks off third, throws it to first. Great play by Christian to put down Eldred in his first at-bat of the day. So 2 down now here in the bottom of the second. Scouts trailing 1-0. He's going to bring up Kyle Holdsworth. Interesting note about Kyle, we saw him strike out on a foul third strike bunt. Something you don't see every day.
Yeah, you definitely don't see that every day.
Kyle today playing second base in this game. He's DH role in the first game. He and Forrest Perrin switched spots. A little switcheroo action. The first pitch misses from Cruz for a ball. Runner on third, and that one's going to be lined over to Miles Wright and put away on the sprint is Miles Wright. There was danger on that one. I thought I might drop in for a bloop single, but the speedster from St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas, Miles Wright from Katie Taylor High School, puts it away, shows off that Mustang speed. And we're going to the top of the third, but the Scouts trail for the first time at the Pipeyard since they played the Lorain County Ironmen. Scores 1-0 Northern Ohio Baseball Club. So Mark Miniga still on the mound here for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. Hasn't given up a run in his first 2 innings. Has given up only 1 hit. That was a double to Kyle Carnahan. Does have 1 walk. This is his 4th appearance of the season. He has a 3.85 ERA. He has 7 innings of pitching action. He has 5 strikeouts and 2 balls against him. He has an 0-1 record, so he's had a pretty solid year. He just hasn't got seemingly the run support he's needed.
And coming up on the side for your Scouts, it'll be 9-1-2. It'll be led off by Miles Wright. He came in as a defensive replacement in game 1 and did get 1 at-bat and got out on that at-bat. He flew out to second base. After him, it'll be Lee Solomon. He grounded out to Campbell down at third in his first time up, and it will be Christian Binger who struck out in his first at-bat.
So the Scouts trailing for the first time. And as Lance mentioned, Miles Wright trying to change the tide of the ball game. Scouts in their navy blue tops and gray bottoms. Northern Ohio Baseball Club and all whites, with some of them wearing black socks that you can see if their pant legs are pulled up. As the sun sets here at the Pipeyard, and Miles is swinging and missing at the first one. Count is now 0-1 to the right fielder. Northern Ohio Baseball Club now running a 10-game losing streak coming into the second game of this doubleheader. That one's going to be flown high into the air, and it's going to be put away by a Reasoner over there at shortstop, right between the gap in shortstop and second base where Kyle Holsworth is playing. So 1 up, 1 down here for the Scouts. That's going to send us to the top of the lineup with Lee Solomon. On the first time, he grounded out to third base. Aiden Campbell wind up and the pitch from a minute ago. He's showing abundance, laid down perfectly down the third base line. They're going to throw in. That goes past him. Lee Solomon's on his way to second as that goes all the way to right field. And Coach Bubba Case is going to hold him up over there at second. But an error on the throw.
I think he would have been safe either way, though.
You're right. You're right. He definitely would have been safe, but it's an error to get him from first to second.
Yep.
So it's a bunt single and an error on the throw by, I believe, Aiden Campbell, correct? That was the third baseman who made the error. So Lee gets a bunt single. I'm going to stop making fun of the bunters on this team.
Unless they're Miles.
Unless they're Miles, right? Absolutely. That's a given. And there's going to be a runner in scoring position now with 1 out here in the top of the third. And that one's in there for a strike to Christian Binger. Binger struck out swinging his first time up. Scouts down. 1-0 here at the Pipeyard. 8 o'clock on your watches or sundials if you're into that sort of thing.
People still do that?
If they're cool, they do. Runner on second base, Lee Solomon, inching towards third, and that one's inside for a ball. Remember, in game number 1, Christian Binger walked twice to up his total on the year to 11 walks. 1-1 count to him now with 1 out here in the top of the third. Scouts down by a run. In Lorain County, here's the pitch outside in the dirt. Eldridge get his glove on that one.
You wanted to say that was outside before the pitch hit the catcher's glove.
Thanks for noticing, Lance. You're right, I did. 2-1 count right now. Here's the pitch from Washington. It's right back up the middle, and that's going to bring home a run. Christian Binger with the RBI single as the ball is going to hit over the third. Christian Binger is going to second, and he's going to be in there easy. A misplay over there, I believe. Is that by the first baseman? Was that by Handel? I think it could have been.
I'm honestly not sure.
There's about 4 Northern Ohio Baseball Club players. The pitcher, the second baseman, the shortstop, and the first baseman who fielded that throw from center field from Daniel Watson. But regardless of who it is, it's going to put Christian Binger over at second after his RBI single ties up the ball game. I have to look at the live stream to see what happened there. Now up to the play is Kyle Carnahan. He's swinging to right field. Binger's tagging up, and he's going to run. Throw from right field. Christian Binger going to third, and he's going to get there easily as the throw is off base. As Antonio Damiano's throw is not where Aiden Campbell would want it to be in. The sac fly from Kyle Carnahan puts Christian Binger at third. That's going to bring in David Gahn, who struck out this first time up. 1-1 ball game here, 2 outs. Top of the third. Runner on third base as that one curves in there for the first strike of the at-bat.
They ruled the error that Christian advanced on by the center fielder, Watson.
I don't think it ruled on Watson. Okay. That one's hit to deep left center field. Back it goes, and the catch is not made. It's off the glove. It bounces off the dirt. And that's going to be an RBI double. Couldn't tell. Originally, I thought Kajanik was going to come up with it. I think it was in his glove in deep left center field by the warning track. As he fell to the earth, and the momentum and the power forced the ball out of the leather. And that's going to be an RBI double for David Gaunt. And gives the Scouts a 2-1 lead. Coming back with a fury here in the third.
And Kajanik did everything he could to try and get to that one. Dove. Looked like he made the catch for a second, and the ball just managed to slide out of his glove on the extra effort. So great effort by Kajanik, but Gaunt hit that one on a rope, and that somehow found its way down to the ground.
It's going to bring up Jonathan Bravo, who flew out to left last time. First pitch from Mitiga to him is outside for a ball. So a couple of hits, 3 total given up here in the third inning by Mitiga. Here comes the next pitch. Swung on and missed by Bravo. Going to even it up at 1 apiece. The Scouts now lead 2-1. David Gaunt sitting over there at second base. Here's the next pitch, and that one is just a bit low as Mitiga shrugs at the umpire, saying, "What else do you want me to do? That one's in the zone." Ump says no. Count is now 2-1. 2 outs. Runner on second base. Scouts up 2-1. Top of the third here at the Pipeyard. Here comes the pitch, well outside. Mitiga might be a little shaken up after that last pitch was called a strike instead of a ball. 3-1, 2 outs. Gaunt at second. Here's the pitch. Inside, and Bravo is going to be taking a nice stroll here in Lorain County to put runners on first and second.
Great job there from Bravo working the count. Got it down to 3-1 and took that pitch on the inside for ball 4.
And it'll be the second walk of the day from the Cavalier from Walsh University, Mark Mitiga, with runners on first and second. Here comes the first pitch to Cale Giddings, who walked his first time up. That was in there for a strike. Remember, this inning started with the 8th batter, Zach Wiley. Cale Giddings at the plate. Got a long break in the action here. Now it looks like we're ready with runners on first and second. That one's a bit high. Count is now 1-1. Swung on and missed for a strike. There's now 1-2. And here comes the next pitch to Giddings. He swings up and pops that one. It looks like he was handcuffed. And what a play made by Hunter Handles. That one curved back. That might have hit the line. That could have been a single, Lance. But he makes the play diving, outstretched arm. He was able to catch the ball before it plummeted to the earth. And the Scouts will leave 2 on. But score 2 runs here in the top of the third inning to take a 2-1 lead.
And now, like you said, crazy play on that one. Looked like that one was going to curve back into the field of play if Handle wasn't able to corral that. So great defensive play there. That definitely would have had the Scouts runners on the move. So don't know if they would have been able to score a run on that one, but they definitely would have at least had the bases loaded.
That's going to do it here for the top of the third inning. Scouts plate 2. Lee Solomon and Christian Binger come across to score. Binger with that RBI single, putting home Solomon, who got originally on with that bunt single, moved to second on the error on the throw on his bunt attempt from third base, and Aiden Campbell got to second there. Then the RBI single brought him all the way home. Christian Binger was sacrificed over to third after he got to second on another error. That one from Daniel Watson. And then the RBI double from David Gaunt, a stand-up double. Extended the Scouts lead to 2-1. And that's where we are, going to the bottom of the third inning. And that's going to bring up the last man of the order for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club, Daniel Watson. He did not play in the first game. Daniel, the center fielder, was charged with that error back in the top of this inning. Here comes Will Cruz, first pitch to him. That was grounded over there past Solomon. Solid contact. You can hear the crack of the bat on that one from Daniel Watson. And he's on with a single. Second hit of the day given up by Will Cruz. That's going to bring it to the top of the order here for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. And Forrest Perrin struck out to start the game. And that one's over the head of Cale Giddings. That one's going to be another error. So that's the third error we've seen today. The first we've seen on the Xenia Scouts. And that one should be charged to Will Cruz. And now Watson standing over there at second base. In scoring position with no outs. Scouts up 2-1. The Scouts won the first game 3-2. That one was 7 innings. This one go full 9 as a swing and a miss from Perrin. Count is now 0-1 to him. We know Will loves to pick batters off, so he's going to give a number of pickoff attempts, but that one goes a little bit errant. And that's what put Watson in scoring position over there at second after the leadoff single. Next pitch, and that one is a bit high as Forrest is able to pull back the bunt. 1-1 count now to the designated hitter. Forrest Perrin from Strongsville, Ohio. Swings and misses out of that one. Makes the count 1-2. Used to go to the University of Cincinnati. Was a Bearcat. Apparently has transferred away because he didn't play this season. And on the Point Streak website for Northern Ohio Baseball Club, it says he's undecided. So it looks like he's in the process of picking a new school. So good luck to him in his future endeavors. Here's the 1-2. That one is pitched over there towards right field. And that one looked like it was dug out with a sand wedge, like we saw yesterday at the U.S. Open. One-two count to Perrin. Runner on second. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Scouts up 2-1. And a pickoff attempt, and Lee Solomon is unable to apply the tag in time. Good pickoff attempt, though, from Will Cruz. 2-1 count back at the plate. Or excuse me, 1-2 count. 1-1 now to Perrin. That one is hit towards Christian Binger, high in the air and put away. Christian Binger with another pop fly put out. And one down here in the bottom of the third inning. And that's going to bring up Brett Kajanik to the plate. Brett last time hit to, yet again, Christian Binger. Has seen a lot of action in these two games so far. And he threw to Cale Giddings for the ground out. Janik batting .303 on the year. Came into today back for 3. And that one is outside from Cruz for a ball to start off this at-bat. So Daniel Watson sitting over there at second base. Going on for singles and advanced on an error. And he's running towards third. Zach Wiley guns him down. Zach Wiley with the fire hose from catcher to third. And Kyle Carnahan applies the tag. Daniel Watson got a little too confident on that one as he's caught stealing. And the rocket arm from Zach Wiley puts him away. So 2 down now with Kajanik at the plate, who now has a 2-1 count. So Will Cruz got himself in a little bit of trouble, gives up the singles and the error. Puts Watson at second, but Watson gets him out of the trouble by trying to steal third. That one is hit towards Levi Gilcrease in left center field, and he puts it away. Makes it look easy. That was anything but routine, but I don't know if I've seen Levi Gilcrease make any play other than a routine one in center field. He does it so effortlessly out there. And after 3, and after putting a runner in scoring position with no outs, Northern Ohio Baseball Club goes down. And the Scouts still lead by a score of 2-1. And that will bring. Go ahead, Lance.
And I'm pretty sure that there's a mess up on point streak, unless I completely scored this incorrectly. Handle walked in the start of the second inning, correct?
No, he flew out to center.
He flew out to center?
Yeah.
Where did I walk?
Campbell walked.
Where did I put that he walked? I don't know.
Aiden Campbell walked in the 5th spot. And Damiano tripled him in with that RBI.
So apparently I messed that up and I lost track of the line.
That's okay,
I
Lance.
didn't know I cleared that up.
Got mine right here for you if you need to check that out, as we're going to go to the top of the 4th inning. And the man who put away that last out, Levi Gilcrease, is going to be up at the plate. Miles Rhett on deck, or excuse me, Zach Wiley coming up. So Levi Gilcrease is coming up with Zach Wiley on deck and Miles right in the hole. Coming here to the top of the 4th inning. Scouts up by a score of 2-1. Thanks for joining Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, for our coverage of Xenia Scouts baseball. Here from the Pipeyard as the team takes on the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. Zach, a righty against Miniga. A righty, here it comes, and that one's hit to shallow right field. And it will be put away. Good job out in right field. That time by Antonio Damianis. He had to come all the way up. That was almost to the dirt. Maybe the second baseman, Holsworth, should have went over and grabbed that one. But nonetheless, it's 1 up, 1 down on the first pitch swinging. Levi Gilcrease. It's going to bring up Zach Wiley. He lined out to right field. And he's swinging towards second. Holsworth gets it, throws to first, and he fire away to put down 2. So 2 swings of the bat. And the Scouts already have 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. See if Miles Wright takes a more patient approach at the plate. As Mark Miniga is making quick work of the bottom of the order for the Xenia Scouts. As Miles start off that last inning where the Scouts rallied for a couple of runs to give them their 2-1 lead right now. They were trailing 1-0 going to the top of the 3rd. First pitch shows bunt. And it's on the inside corner for a strike. Miles the first time flew out. Over there to shortstop and Mike Reisner. 0-1 count to him now. He throws, and that one's going to be chopped over towards second base. Holsworth picks it up and throws it to first. So 4 pitches, 3 outs for Mike Miniga. That might be the shortest inning of the year we've seen so far for any team. So 1 pitch fly out to right field, a 1 pitch grounder to second, then a 2 pitch grounder to second, and a side is retired for the Xenia Scouts. And we move on to the bottom of the 4th inning. Scouts still lead 2-1. So side coming up now from Northern Ohio Baseball Club would be Mike Reisner, the shortstop. Hunter Handel, the first baseman. He flew out to center last time. Mike grounded out to Kyle Carnahan at third. Then Aiden Campbell, the lone scorer of the day for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. He walked on a 3-2 count and then was tripled home by Antonio Damiano. And he represents the 1 in this 2-1 ball game. Scouts back in the top of the 3rd inning scored all of their runs to start off with a bunt single. Elise Solomon got to second on an error on said bunt single. Then he was RBI at home on a single from Christian Binger. Binger got to second on said play with an error from Daniel Hunter, the center fielder. Daniel Watson, the center fielder. And then he was sacrificed to third from Kyle Carnahan. David Gaunt with an RBI double. And that would conclude the scoring of today's ball game. As we go to the bottom of the 4th here, and the hard-hitting right-hander, Mike Reisner. Remember back in the first game, Mike hit a solo shot to left center. It was the first earned run of the year from Quentin McGrath, who was our player of the game. and his 4th victory of the year. First pitch from Will Cruz, and it's a hanging curveball that doesn't drop. Count is now 1-0 to the shortstop from Bradley University, Mike Reisner.
Reisner, of course, hit the solo home run in game 1.
And that's a 1-1 count after the foul tip off the end of the black bat of Reisner. Thank you for listening, Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, on Xenia Scouts Baseball on our live stream here at the Pipeyard. Here's the pitch. Winds and delivers. Gets him swinging. Count is now 1-2 to Mike. Will does have a strikeout on the day. It was against the very first batter he faced this afternoon. And Forrest Perrin, the designated hitter, back all the way in the first inning. So 1-2 count right now. Ball outside. Count is now 2-2. Oh, excuse me. They got outside corner for a strike. I thought they missed outside, but Will Cruz was able to paint the corner, and that's the 2nd strikeout of the day.
Yeah, he got him looking on that one for strike 3. Only a 2nd strikeout of the game, but definitely a guy you want to set down in Reisner.
As Reisner walks back to the dugout. And here comes Hunter Handel, one of the few lefties in this lineup for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club, and that one misses low. Zach Wiley able to stop it. Throws it back to the pitcher, and we're going to do it again at 1-0 here for Will Cruz, who raises his left knee, delivers inside for another ball. Will does have 1 walk this game, and that was to the man who's on deck right now, Aiden Campbell. Hunter Handel at the plate flew out Levi Gilchrist last time, and that one's in the dirt as well. So quickly, 3-0 here to Hunter Handel, the first baseman. He does have some power, so I don't know if he'll get the green light on a 3-0 pitch, but it's definitely a guy that can make Will Cruz pay, and here comes the 3-0. And he did have the red light. He was holding on to that one, and counts now 3-1 to him. Winds and fires. Inside corner. Hunter Handel was ready to heave-ho his bat towards the dugout.
Not so fast.
An elite Corso type moment, and it's a 3-2 count now. It's full again for Will Cruz, and he fires. That one's lined over to right field and just a bit foul. So Lady Luck has been 2-timing this game as she's played on both the sides of the Scouts and the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. That time on the side of the navy blue and gray, because if that one was inside that white line, Handel will be standing on second right now with a double. So we're going to do it again at 3-2 after the deep fly liner goes foul. And here's the 3-2. In there for strike 3, and Handel can't believe it. Ready to throw his bat again, and I don't know why. That was right down the pipe here at the Pipeyard.
Not so fast, Hunter. He strikes out again.
So
I thought that was funny. He did it twice in a row.
he did do it twice in a row, and that's twice in a row that Cruz has had a strikeout looking here to start the bottom of the 4th, and that one's going to be single past Lee Solomon. Aiden Campbell is now 1 for 1 in this game. He's got on both times. First pitch swinging single for the third baseman, Aiden Campbell. Campbell from Western Illinois, the Leatherneck, as we mentioned, the Fighting Leathernecks over there in Western Illinois. Coming to the plate now will be Antonio Damiano. We saw him with that RBI triple that sent home Campbell back in the 2nd inning, the bottom of the 2nd. First pitch to him misses outside for a ball. Scouts up 2-1 here, bottom 4. Second game with a doubleheader. Scouts won the first one 3-2 in 7 innings. Pickoff attempt. Not in time, but another great pickoff attempt from Will Cruz. Kale Giddings doing a good job as well. Applying the tag, one fluid motion, catches the ball and moves it down to the belly of Aiden Campbell. And one movement. Here comes the pitch. That one's fouled back towards the net, and there stirs the Mayflies.
Those Mayflies have found a home right there on the netting behind home plate. And every time that ball comes back, it shakes them all up and they fly around for a little bit.
So we have a 1-1 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. At the plate is Antonio Damiano. And he swings and chops that one over towards third and foul. Another close play, but that one goes just left to the bag. More towards the Northern Ohio Baseball Club dugout. And that will put us again at this 1-2 count. We're going to do it again. And the runner is going. That was hit over to Solomon at short. He throws to first. Not able to be dug out by Cale Giddings. An error throw by Lee Solomon. I think he's going to have to be charged for an error on that one.
I would think so. That throw drug Cale Giddings off the bag. He tried to reach over and extend as much as he could, but if he did stay on the base, he wasn't able to hold on to the ball, and if he got off the base, he might have been able to catch the ball. So either way, probably wouldn't have been able to get that out. So definitely think the error is going to have to go on Solomon from that throw.
So an error on Lee Solomon at short is going to put runners on first and third as Cable was running on the hit and run attempt. That's going to bring up Eric Eldred, and he's fouling that one off to the right side into the black netting. And the new home with the Mayflies, and it's an 0-1 count to Eldred, who grounded out to second in his first time up. So another dangerous spot for Will Cruz. He's given up 1 run in this game back in the 2nd inning. We're here in the bottom of the 4 with 2 outs, pickoff attempt. Cale Giddings gets it, throws it back to Will. And we'll do it again here at 0-1. Now one's going to be fouled backwards. And they're actually ruled that as an error against Cale Giddings. And I'm not sure how they did that because it was an error throw by Lee Solomon. But it's going to be recorded as an error to Giddings. And definitely that error should have been on Lee Solomon. But runners on the corners. 2 outs here. Runners going. That one is foul tipped. I think off the mask of Zach Wiley. So 0-2 now to Eric Eldred. Eric, the catcher from Case Western Reserve. One of 2 Spartans from Case Western Reserve University. Eldred originally from Tecumseh, Michigan, went to Tecumseh High School. So Michiganders on the mound and at the plate. And a Tennessean behind the plate in Zach Wiley, who goes to Union College in Jackson, Tennessee. With runners on the corners. Here we go. That one's hit towards Solomon at short. He picks it up, throws it to second, and that's going to do it. The underhand toss ends the inning. So after putting runners on the hot corners, the Northern Ohio Baseball Club will just go down sheepishly, and the score remains 2-1 as we go to the top of the 5th inning. So we're going to the top of the 5th. Remember, tomorrow back home at Grady's Field, the Scouts will have a 2-game homestand against the Hamilton Joes. Joes are coming off a 4-game road trip in which they went 3-1. They've won 3 straight, the hottest team in the league right now. And if the Southern Ohio Copperheads win tonight against the Lima Locos, that'll be a battle between the 2 and 3 teams in the league, according to the league standings. You can come out to Grady's Field on Tuesday and Wednesday to watch the Scouts. And remember, tomorrow will be our Reds minor league night, and we'll have about 80 campers who come out on the field with the Scouts for the national anthem, and they'll be having their own PA man and Dizzy Bat races, and there's a whole lot of fun. So come out to Grady's Field in the AIA Sports Complex to see the Scouts and the Joes in some Great Lakes League action. So Miniga about to start his 5th inning of work here. as we see the gun on full display that time by Eldridge. Lance, who's the lineup coming up for the Scouts?
For the Scouts, it'll start at the top of the order with Lee Solomon coming up to the plate as we speak. Then it'll be Christian Binger, who had an RBI single back in the third. And then after him, it'll be Kyle Carnahan, who hit a double in his first at-bat in the first inning and then sac flied in the third.
That pitch is a little bit low to Solomon for a ball to start off the top of the fifth.
And last inning was the first time the Scouts didn't leave someone on base.
And that one's also a bit low for another ball. So count is now 2-0 to Lee. Here comes a pitch from Mitiga. And that one's a little bit high. So quickly 3-0 to Lee Solomon, who did a walk in the first game. Got on last inning with that bunt single. And eventually scored, and watches that one hit the inside corner. Lee Solomon does his best statue impersonation, not even moving an inch towards that pitch. Here's the 3-1. That one's inside, and Lee's going to trot on over to first base. And the Scouts do what they could not do. Back in the fourth innings, that put a runner on base. And we just saw 5 pitches, which is more pitches than we saw in the entire fourth inning combined, where we only saw 4. As Lee Solomon almost picked off over there at first. Good job by Mitigo with a nice pickoff move to Hunter Handel. Now another one. And just in time again is Solomon. The righty Mark Mitiga with a fierce move over towards the first base bag. Stands with his foot on the corner of the rubber closest towards first base. He's working from the set now. Here he throws, and that one's high. Maybe a pitch out. Trying to see if Lee Solomon will be running. Remember, back in the first game, Lee Solomon was caught stealing as a pickoff attempt got him over there at third base. Christian Binger at the plate. That one's high for a ball.
And something a lot of guys on the team said when they talked about how they like to steal bases, they say they usually like to go right after that first pitch out attempt. So didn't happen there for Solomon. We're obviously not sure if that was intended to be a pitch out as that one was up high zone, but something to look out for.
So 2-0 count now. Christian Binger, who singled home Solomon back in the third inning. He's 1 for 2 today. Also has a strikeout. Pitch to him, and that one is in there down the middle for the strike. Going to put the count at 2-1 to Christian, second baseman from Southwest Baptist in Missouri. Another pickoff attempt, and Solomon back in time again. As those gray pants and navy blue top are starting to turn a light brown from all the diving back towards first base. 2-1 now to Binger. There you go, winds and fires. Now once we chopped over towards first, and it's past the diving handle, and Solomon's going to 3. Here comes the throw, and it's a good job that time to be picked up over there by Aiden Campbell at third base. As Damiana makes the throw all the way from right field. Solomon was going to be in there easily anyways, but that gets past Campbell. Not only is Lee Solomon scoring, but Christian Binger will be on second. But because of the nice glove stop, there's only runners on the corners after the single from Binger. Back-to-back singles for Christian.
And we just got a direct message from Brian Gaunt, father of David. He said his mother, his sister, and brother all plan to be there tomorrow and Wednesday. So we look forward to meeting them, and they look forward to meeting us. They said we're great. So thanks for the kind words. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you to the family Gaunt. Another one we just met. Joey Leva's dad, John Leva. Well, I met him a few days ago, but we got to talk to him in depth during that rain delay in the first game. A lot of great families here for the Xenia Scouts. Looking forward to meeting the Gaunts and the Wright family when they come up as well. You know, Quentin's mom listens to the games. Quentin pitched another victory. It seems like all he does is win. And he has 4 on the season now.
That's got to be tops in the league.
It is tops in the league. Gave up his first earned run of the day, but that's okay because he has pitched 4 games with 4 wins. I think you can give up 1 earned run every now and then.
That's exactly how I lit up the interview. I said, Quentin, well, we know you weren't going to be perfect forever. You had to give up one sometime.
Runners on the corners here in the top of the 5th inning. Kyle Carnahan at the plate. Kyle sacrificing doubled in this game. He swings and misses at that one. Count is now 0-2 for the third baseman, Mr. Hot Corner from Washburn.
He earned that nickname by starting every single game at third, and he's been in every single inning for the Scouts, so he's gotten plenty of work down there at third.
And a sac fly in the third. We'd love to get another sac fly here because that would score Lee Solomon from third base. And here goes the pitch, and that one swung and hit over towards shortstop, and the slow roller is going to have Kyle Carnahan get out, but he does. RBI home, Lee Solomon on that putout. So the score is now 3-1. The Scouts with a 2-run lead.
So Carnahan having himself a nice day, although he's only he's 1 for 2. He had a double in the first, had his own sac fly in the third, like you mentioned, then grounded out there, and that brought home Lee Solomon. So Carnahan having a nice day at the plate. And
Lee has scored twice now. There's a 3-1 score, and that one swung on a miss from the new batter, David Gaunt, the designated hitter from Topeka, Kansas, also a teammate at Washburn University of Kyle Carnahan, who just went back to the dugout after that RBI putout. First pitch, the second pitch is gone. He's lining that one towards left field, and it's going to get down and splashes in the water. A fortunate break for the Scouts as that one hit a puddle in left field, and that ball just died. It looked like it was going to come on a one-hop to Kajanik, maybe trying to throw home. I don't know if Christian Binger would even try to score. It would have been close if there was a play at the plate. But because it died in the water on the fly, an easy RBI single for David Gaunt.
Yeah, that's like we've been mentioning out in left field. Definitely more water out there than it seems like there is in any part of the park. They raked up outside in foul territory. That was standing room water. And since then, it's been all Scouts. They have done great. And if you hit a ball out towards left, you saw right there that it's just going to die if it hits that water. So that might be a place hitters are trying to put the ball. So it's been a nice top of the lineup today in the second game for the Scouts as Lee Solomon and Christian Binger both scored twice now for the team's 4 runs, and they have a 4-1 lead as that one's hung out to left field and put away by Kajanik. And Jonathan Bravo goes down for the second time today. That's only the second out of the inning. And David Gaunt still sitting over there first. He now has 2 RBIs in the contest. And a RBI double back in the third, and now an RBI single, both times knocking home Christian Binger. It's a lot of deja vu here in the 5th inning like we saw in the third. And that's going to bring up Cale Giddings. That one is in time as David Gaunt gets back to first after the pickoff attempt from Mark Mitiga, who's now given up 4 earned runs in this contest. That was in there for a strike to Cale. Cale only starting his 4th game of the year. He came to the Scouts after they were a couple weeks in, providing some depth. First base came batting at this game, 286, and Gaunt's on the move. A catcher versus catcher throw in there in time. David Gaunt is thrown out and a perfect block over there at second base by Kyle Holdsworth, putting his foot in front of David Gaunt out of the bag and then putting the tag down for Gaunt's extended cleat. And that's going to end the top of the 5th inning, but not before the Scouts put 2 runs across the board and extend their lead to 4-1. And I can tell you exactly why David got out on that one. That was a great throw there from Eldred behind the plate, but when he was about halfway between first and second, he stopped and looked at the catcher to see where he was going to throw it. I think if he had just hustled through, he still might have been out, but I think that split second was the difference between him being safe and out at second. So we'll never know when caught stealing to end the inning. Now we're doing the top of 5 here for the Scouts, but not before they surmount a 4-1 lead here at the Pipeyard over the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. This is not the only game in action around the Great Lakes League tonight. Of course, the Scouts won in the first game, doubleheader 3-2, but some scores around the league. We're going to the top of the 9th.
down at Simmons Field in Lima, Ohio. And the Southern Ohio Copperheads and Lima Locos are tied scoreless, two of the best hitting teams in the league, having a pitcher's duel as both pitchers coming into that game were undefeated on the year. And over there at Flat Rock, the Lorain County Ironmen beating the Lake Erie Monarchs have been rejuvenated as of late. 3-1. That one's in the top of the fifth inning. We're here at the Pipeyard, the home of the Lorain County Ironmen. We were here last week when the Ironmen beat the Scouts by a score of 12-3 before the Scouts beat them in 14 innings the next night at Grady's Field with a 2-1 score in that unbelievable pitcher's duel. But that's going to bring us to the bottom of the fifth. And Lance, what's the side for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club?
For the Northern Ohio Baseball Club, it'll be Kyle Holdsworth up to the plate on Daniel Watson, then back to the top in Forrest Perot.
Here goes the pitch. The bunt attempt. That one's going to be fouled above the stands here. That one bounced off the bat like it was made of trampoline. And that's going to go down for a strike to Holdsworth, who flew out to right last time. So, no one count from Will Cruz, pitcher from Hillsdale College, the Chargers. That one's we hit over past Cale Giddings at first base, and it's going to be a single to start off the inning for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club.
And just like the Scouts have done well at the top of the lineup, Northern Ohio has done fairly well at the bottom of the lineup, all things considered. Daniel Watson had a nice little hit back in the third inning, and then Holdsworth starts off this fifth inning with his own hit. So as long as you can get a couple hits from the bottom of your order, as Cruz tries to pick off over there, but he's back in time at Holdsworth. If you can get a couple hits from the bottom of your lineup, that's all the things you need as long as your top of the lineup does what they're supposed to.
Daniel Watson out the play. He singled on this first pitch swinging last time he was up, just like we saw from Holdsworth. And he's swinging again. Levi Gilcrease ranging and putting it away. Now we're going to not make the throw to first. I thought he was going to try to gun him down for a double play. I know it probably wouldn't have helped, but never know with Levi Gilcrease. He has a lot of confidence in his arm, and for good reason.
Yeah, Levi, like we mentioned, great center fielder. Whenever the ball's hit anywhere near center field, as long as it stays in the yard, there's a chance that Levi's going to get it. And even if it looks like it's going to go over the fence, Levi looks like he has a chance to get it. And his arm is just as good as his legs. Great center fielder out there in Levi Gilcrease.
That's going to bring up the top of the order. And Forrest Perrin, who is 0 for 2 today, flew out to Christian Bringer at second last time. That one is tipped backwards. That's now 0-1 here, with one down in the bottom of the fifth inning. As looks like we have some action out in the Northern Ohio bullpen. Kyle Holdsworth over there at first base. One down. 4-1 Scouts is your score. Here comes the next pitch, and that one's in the dirt.
And it looks like we have Corey Blessing from Ohio University out there warming up in the Northern Ohio bullpen.
Corey Blessing, one of two pitchers to get wins on the year with the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. Or 2-10 on the year now. Pick off the temp. Giddings gets it, throws it back to Cruz. And now riding that 10-game losing streak in double digits. So in a swan song here to start the season for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. Scouts would like to continue that streak as that one's grounded over to Kyle Carnahan. He's going to throw to first in time to Giddings, so the 5-3, but that does advance Holdsworth to second base.
That does advance Holdsworth to second base, but there are two down, so just have to worry about Kajanik, who's coming up to the plate. They can kind of forget about Holdsworth on the base paths.
Yeah, Brett Kajanik up at the plate. Came into today batting .333. Was batting .303 going into this game. Now is 0 for 2. He's had a rough afternoon against the navy blue and gray of the Xenia Scouts. The lefty. Here comes the pitch from the righty, Will Cruz, and it's in there in the glove of Zach Wiley. Good frame job for the first strike of the at-bat. But runner in scoring position. Scouts trying to hold on to this 4-1 lead. Will Cruz looking for a second victory of the year. Here comes the pitch. Now once we line over to Levi Gilcrease in center, he's going to be throwing home. They're going to be sending the runner. And here comes the throw. And no, they're not sending the runner. They thought wisely of it. Did that even one hop?
I don't think it did.
That hit the glove of Zach Wiley. as Levi Gilchrist was running on a full sprint, picked it up, turned his body towards home, threw it from all the way in center field. It's got to be close to 300 feet out there, and on a dead throw, straight on, right to the glove of Zach Wiley, as if he was 5 feet away from him. Unbelievable. Smart job, head coach over there of the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. As you can tell, Holdsworth thought he had a run. He thought he was going to be singled home from Kajanik, but not so much. Not so much with Levi Gilchrist out there in center field.
I think they've learned to not test Levi Gilchrist's arm. They've probably seen a little bit of film of him doing it multiple times, and if you can do, anyone can do something just one time and have it be a fluke, but Gilchrist can do it each and every time from center field, and if you try to score on him, odds are it's not going to end well. The only time we really saw him not complete that out is when Joe Chasen kind of got in the middle of the throw. That was against the Cincinnati Steam a few weeks ago. That was really the only time we've seen a throw like that where Levi didn't get the runner out.
And after a quick meeting at the mound between the entire infield and Coach Bubba Case, Thomas Wanning now in the pen warming up with Lincoln Reed. So we might see a pitching change soon. Definitely want to get through 5 here. So if the Scouts can hold on, Will Cruz will get the victory. There are 2 outs here with runners on the corners as the hard-hitting shortstop, Mike Reisner, at the plate. He did homer in the first game. Early run of the game. That one sinks in there for a strike on the breaker from Will Cruz. So the single from Kajanik has him on first. The single earlier from Holdsworth has him on third now. That one's in the dirt for a ball. I don't know about how much film these other teams have seen, but maybe they've heard war stories from other teams. Hey, man, you guys are about to play the Scouts. Watch out for the center fielder. He'll gun you down in your dreams. So count is now 1-1 here to Reisner, and that one swung and fouled to the right side. And Reisner started off the last inning, the bottom of the 4th, in which he struck out looking. One of 3 strikeouts on the day for Will. Told us he doesn't look for strikeouts. He wants the 7 guys behind him to get the outs. And here's the next pitch, and that one's in the dirt. Good block from Zach Wiley. That one gets to the deep backstop here at the Pipeyard. And it's going to be a run from Kyle Holdsworth. But nonetheless, the score remains 4-1. And the count is now 2-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it's going to be time called by the ref. Umpire says, hold your horses, everyone. 2-2 count now. Swung on and missed, and Will Cruz gets out of the danger. And a very disgruntled Mike Reisner slams his bat back at home plate. He's now 0 for 3 today. He struck out twice. Will Cruz gave a leadoff single to Kyle Holdsworth to start off the inning and had Daniel Watson fly out to the center. And then Forrest Perrin grounded out to second base. And then a single from Brett Kajanik put the Scouts in a little bit of danger, had runners on first and third. It would have been a 4-2 ball game if it wasn't for the unbelievable missile of a right arm of Levi Gilchrist. And then Mike Reisner ends off the inning with a strikeout. And we'll go to the top of the 6th with the same score as we came into the bottom of the 5th. 4-1, your Scouts lead. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. That will be Corey Blessing, as Lance mentioned. Corey Blessing, a 6'4" righty, weighing 180 pounds from Ohio University, from Mayfield Heights, Ohio, not very far from here. He's going to his junior year. So 5 innings of baseball from Mark Mitiga, and he gives up 4 runs on a plethora of hits through those 5 innings. Did finish with a couple of strikeouts and a couple of walks.
Coming up on the side for the Scouts, it'll be Cale Gitt in the 5th when David Gaunt was caught stealing. And it'll be Levi Gilcrease who flew out and hit into a fielder's choice, got a stolen base, and then it'll be Zach Wiley who grounded out and has flown out today.
Corey Blessing, the Bobcat. This year only had 1 inning of pitching in college down in Athens. He had 1 strikeout in that 1 inning. Didn't give up any runs. And here's his first pitch of this game. Of Cale Giddings is going to line that one over to right field and put away. Damiano puts away Giddings on the first pitch, swinging to start off the top of the 6th.
And a quick look at some games around the Great Lakes League. Not a whole lot of action going on with the Scouts playing a doubleheader today. But the Southern Ohio Copperheads and Lima Locos tied 0-0. They head to the top of the 10th, and Lorain County Ironmen up on the Monarchs 6-1 at the top of the 5th in Black Rock.
And here's his first pitch to Levi Gilcrease at the plate now. That one goes high for a ball to Levi. He's over 2 in the second game of the doubleheader. He did get off fielder's choice in the second and stole a base. And here comes the pitch from Blessing. Play for a strike, so 1-1 even up now from the center fielder from Baylor, originally from Tampa, Florida, Levi Gilcrease. His little brother Zach, a former scout, sitting over there as a first base coach. Swung on and missed. Big cut from Levi. He's now behind in the count, 1-2.
Yeah, Levi wanted every piece of that one. Took a hard swing at that one. Just wasn't able to get anything out of that one. Count 1-2.
Here comes that 1-2 pitch, and that one is foul, just barely foul. We talked about Lady Luck hopping on the side of both these teams. That time hops on the side of the Northern Ohio baseball clubs, and they're all whites as that one just missed. Tiptoeing on that third base line.
Tiptoeing down the line like Ryan Burbank did in that Indiana game, Terry.
And you're right, Lance. No one at home is going to understand the reference at all. Here comes the 1-2. That one's outside for a ball. Evens it up at 2-2.
That's very true. No one would understand that except for you and me, but still funny.
2-2 now from Corey Blessing, facing his second batter here in the top of the 6th inning. High wind and pitch. That one's going to be fouled, and looks like Eldridge is going to make a play over there and towards the dugout, but off of the top of the Scouts dugout. So unless Eldridge had a step ladder, he wasn't going to be able to come up with that one. And Levi Gilcrease again with a long count here, trying to get the most out of new pitcher Corey Blessing, the 6'4" righty.
I do think that call did make the BGRSO highlight reel, so if you search for BGRSO on Twitter, you might be able to find that somewhere.
Is it on Twitter?
I think I put it on. I put the highlight reel on Twitter.
So here comes the 2-2 count. That one's going to be grounded over there to Reasoner at short. Throws to first, and he's safe off of the bag. Off of the bag as Hunter Handel, H-squared, can't get his back heel on it.
So then that error would go on Reasoner, right?
It should go on Reasoner, but we did see earlier in this game where an error that went against Lee Solomon, that should have went against Lee Solomon, went against Cale Giddings. So we'll have to see what happens. And so keep tracking that on the live stream here, see what happens. But nonetheless, Levi Gilcrease will be on with an error. Bring up Zach Wiley's a pitch out attempt, goes high for a ball. Remember, Levi Gilcrease did steal in this game back in the second. Now that's back on the mind of Eric Eldridge. Another pickoff attempt, and just in time is Levi Gilcrease. Looks like Corey Blessing has a nice pickoff move as well. Went down here in the top of the 6th inning. Scouts up 4-1 as the sun sets. Another pickoff attempt. Back in time is Gilcrease. Corey Blessing paying a lot of attention to the center fielder, the speedster from Baylor, who takes a couple-step lead. It's the pitch and he throws. Outside corner for a strike against Wiley. He evens the count up at 1-1. Zach today is 0 for 2. Flew out back in the second inning to right field and grounded out to second baseman Kyle Holdsworth in the 4th inning. Licks his pitch and he's tipping that one backwards. And that ball somehow makes its way to the stands. So 2 strikes now against Zach Wiley.
And they actually ruled the play from Gilcrease a hit.
All right, so they're going to rule a single. So that'll help up Levi Gilcrease's batting average. He won't complain about that one. He is now 1 for 3 on the day. Zach Wiley over there at the plate. That one's low in the dirt for a ball. Is going to even up the count at 2-2 here. The catcher from Union University, one of 2 players from Union. We saw Austin Orr in the first game when he was DHing, sitting on the bench in the dugout to the right of us in this game. Zach Wiley at the plate, and here comes the move, and that one is hit towards right field. This is going to be in play and put away for Damiana. Here comes Levi Gilcrease, and he's going to be in second in plenty of time. That should go for a sacrifice for Zach Wiley as he moves Gilcrease from first to second.
So that'll put Gilcrease on second after the sac fly from Wiley, and that'll bring Miles right up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with the ground out and a fly out today.
He was second pitch swinging back in the 4th inning on that ground out over there. Holdsworth at second. A runner in scoring position. Scouts off 4-1. Top 6, 2 outs. Now 11-4 on the year after the 3-2 victory in the first game of the doubleheader. That one only went 7. This one going a full 9. Here comes the pitch. Miles swinging, lining that one to left field, and it's past the left fielder, Kajanik, and that's going to double in a run. Let's see where Miles right. He's going to stay over there at second. Kajanik, I think, thought he had a better line onto that one than he did. And it was well past his outstretched glove. So the RBI double ends the drought for Miles right here in game number 2. And now scores 5-1.
And that just goes to show he doesn't do well when I do play-by-play. But when Terry does, he hits doubles to the wall.
And me as Miles got a good thing going on. And he hits that RBI double and extend the lead to 5-1 for the Scouts. Well in control in this one. Lee Solomon at the plate. Watch that first one go high for a ball. Lee batted in the top of the last inning, the top of the 5th, and he walked there and eventually scored. That's the first score of a game by someone not named Lee Solomon or Christian Binger, as Levi Gilcrease came all the way to home to score in that RBI double. Now it's in there for a strike. So 2 down here. Scouts put 1 across. In the top of the 6th inning, 5-1 lead up in the Northern Ohio Baseball Club in the second game of this doubleheader. Solomon at the plate. He's watched a strike 2 go by as well. Count is now 1-2. The shortstop from Lipscomb University, Nashville, Tennessee. Originally from Columbus, Ohio. From Gahanna onto Columbus Academy. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch from Blessing. That one's going to be lined back out to him. He goes off his glove. Will Solomon be able to beat it out? And he cannot. So good recovery speed by Corey Blessing, as it was a hot grounder that went off the tip of the leather of Blessing's glove. He was able to run towards it. Remember, Lee Solomon, one of, if not the fastest guy on the team, who was thrown out just in time. But that will do it for the top of the 6th inning, but not before. Miles right. RBI doubles home. Levi Gilcrease, he got on with a single, and then was sack flown to second from Zach Wiley. And then that RBI double, what I just said, extends this lead to 5-1. And Will Cruz is coming out for a 6th inning of action. Lance, I didn't expect that. We saw Thomas Wani, who's still out there in the pen. Thought we might see him coming to the game, but I guess Coach Roy Case is trying to see if he can get 6 innings of work out of Will. He's coming in well rested in this contest here in this double header. And we'll see if he can finish out the 6th inning strong.
And I guess we will just have to see how long the leash is for Will Cruz. He's done pretty well thus far. He just has that one blemish on his record back in the 2nd inning. Since then, has done pretty well. So we'll see if he can continue that here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yep, Will with 3 strikeouts to his name. This game has given up 4 hits. 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and then 2 in the 5th. Made that 5 hits on the game. And Lance was the side coming up for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club.
For Northern Ohio, it'll be Hunter Handel, Aiden Campbell, and Antonio Damianato.
So that first pitch goes a little bit high to Hunter Handel. He's a lefty on this team, as is Brett Kajanik, who singled last time he was up. That one's going to be hit over there towards right field and Miles right, and he puts it away right before the warning track. So 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Will Cruz 2 outs away from going to the 7th, as Aiden Campbell will come out to the plate. Aiden has been perfect today. He is a single and walked back in the 2nd. He got to 3rd last time. Winds and fires. That one is fouled into the black netting from Campbell. Will Cruz has looked in control ever since giving him that RBI triple to Antonio Damiano back in the 2nd inning. Here comes the pitch. And there for a strike. So 0-2 now quickly to Aiden Campbell. Cruz is trying to not put on the base paths for the first time this game. Here's the 0-2, and that one's going to be hit towards Miles right in right field again. Looks like a can of corn puts it away. So 2 up, 2 down here in a fast-moving bottom of the 6th inning. That's 2 flyouts to keep Miles right honest over there. That's going to bring up Damiano, who I just talked about. A righty who has the lone run batted in of the day for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. That was back in the 2nd. First pitch to him. Inside corner for a strike. Nice breaker right there. Break dancing his way across the plate. So an 0-1 count now to Antonio. Here's the 2nd pitch, and that one's going to be flown high in the air. Everyone's running after that one. Cale Giddings making the best attempt, and it was right behind him.
Actually charged in a little too much on that one.
Yeah, I think he just misread that one because that was definitely playable. As it just bounced behind his head. So Cale might have lost in the lights. Yeah. Might have lost in all the mayflies swarming above him. Not sure what happened.
That's a very real possibility.
It is, and there's going to be 2 strikes now against Damiano, who has a breath of life in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the 0-2. That one's going to be fouled over there again, so we're going to do it again at 0-2 as that one bounces and vibrates on top of us here in the press box. 0-2 count for Antonio Damiano. Once again, 1 for 2 in this game. Did get on last time with an error. That one's outside for a ball. That error was ruled against Cale Giddings. Should have been ruled against Lee Solomon over there at short. He has to throw him off the bag. And here comes the 1-2. Also in the dirt. Good eye from Antonio Damiano.
And Will definitely thought the one that was ruled ball 1 was going to be strike 3 as he started his walk off of the mound.
Here comes that 2-2 pitch. That one's in the dirt as well, so Antonio works all the way back from 0-2, fouling off a couple to a full count. So 3 straight balls from Will Cruz, trying to get out of the bottom of the 6th inning here. That one's going to be swung. Hit over towards Lee Solomon, picks it up on the hop, throws to Cale Giddings, and in time. The 6-3 connection is strong from Lee Solomon to Cale Giddings, so that will do it for the 6th inning. So we're 2/3 of the way done with this game, and your score after 6 is Scouts 5, Northern Ohio Baseball Club 1. Thank you for listening to myself, Terry Lash, and my broadcast partner, Lance Morris, as the Scouts try to take 2 here at a neutral site at Lorain County's the Pipeyard. This game originally scheduled for a 2:05 start at Mills Field in Strongsville, Ohio, where the Northern Ohio Baseball Club normally play their games. This game was actually scheduled to be played yesterday. This doubleheader was a Father's Day doubleheader originally. Because of the poor field conditions, again, it was moved here to Lorain County. We explored a lot of early options. We also talked about maybe the Hamilton Joes coming today to play a doubleheader instead of playing the next 2 days. Maybe moving a doubleheader against the Northern Ohio Baseball Club to either Tuesday or Wednesday. But nevertheless, we got the game in today at a neutral site. And it's been sweet sailing for the Scouts, won the first game by a score of 3-2. They go to 11-4 on the year. They're trying to extend their record to 12-4 in game number 2 of this doubleheader. We're going to move to the top of the 7th inning. And Lance, who's the side coming up for the Xenia Scouts?
For the Scouts, it'll go 2-3-4. Then we'll start off with Christian Binger, who had a hit in his last at bat. Then it'll be Kyle Carnahan, who grounded out but brought in a run. And David Gaunt, who also had a hit to bring in a run.
Corey Blessing still on the mound. That was a well inside. Almost hit Binger on that one. He was hit by a pitch back in the first game. He went 0 for 1. They got on with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. So 3 for 4 on getting to first base. And that one is outside corner for a strike. Evens it up now to Binger, who singled his last 2 times up. And scored 2 runs and has an RBI. And that one's out across the plate as well. So 1-2 now to the second baseman from Southwest Baptist in Missouri. Blessing on the rubber here, standing about the middle of the rubber. Here comes his pitch. That one's going to be tipped towards the bullpen. 4 over there, and then goes away from everyone. We're doing it again at 1-2 for Christian. Christian 2 for 3 on the day. Definitely going to be a candidate for player of the game. There's going to be a few of them. Lee Solomon and David Gaunt, a couple of the others. And that one's going to be driven to deep right center field, and it's going to be put away in a diving catch from Damiano. Oh, my. Antonio Damiano extending the glove, moving to his right with the right of his leather. Puts it all the way out there. I think he would deserve because he made an ice cream cone catch with the ball nearly popping out like we saw earlier. With a dramatic first out, and Christian Binger goes down. Now Kyle Carnahan at the plate. First pitch to him is a strike. Carnahan did have an RBI. Last time he was up, he grounded out to short to get out. 0-1. Checks his swing. Does everything he can to hold back, and does in time. Evens the count up at 1-1 to Kyle. Kyle 1 for 2 on the day. That one's low in the dirt. Good eye from Carnahan. The freshly shaven Kyle Carnahan. This will be his first game since he shaved the beard. It's been second game. I guess we had the doubleheader against Grand Lake. So, well, technically, fourth game? We've had a lot of doubleheaders recently. As his next pitch is going to be fouled off. He's been getting a lot of guff from the scouts on the team buses and our discipleships, calling him Thor. Saying he looks like Hemsworth, who plays Thor in the Marvel series.
It's not a bad nickname.
Not at all. I would love to be a, what is that, Norse god? Yeah, I can be a lot of worse things in life as Thor goes down swinging. Need a bigger hammer on that one. And he's going to head back to the dugout with 2 outs now for the Scouts. So Carnahan still having a great day. He is 1 for 3 with a sac fly. He got on with a double to start the game. That one's low and outside of David Gaunt, who's also having a great game. Ichabods are doing outstanding in the second game of the doubleheader. Gaunt has 2 RBIs, has a double and a single, last 2 at bats. And he's hitting that one, pops it up out of play towards the left of us. And it's still a little bit light out. Second longest day of the year here. You remember yesterday was the summer solstice. Count's now 1-1 with 2 outs to David Gaunt as he watches that one go a little bit low for a ball. Here comes the 1-2 to Gaunt. Swung on and tips it back into the glove of Eldred and evens it up at 2-2. Scouts up 5-1 here. 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. Excuse me, top of the 7th inning. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, that one's hit to center field. And that one's going to be over the head of Watson. I thought he was going to be able to put that one away, but another double for David Gaunt. The second 2-bagger of the day.
So this will be what, the third time David has gotten 3 hits in a ball game?
I believe so. This is his third time with 3. As Daniel Watson, the center fielder, let that one fly over his head. He started really slow going back to it, so he looked like he was confident. Then realized, uh-oh, that one's still going. Wasn't able to get his left glove on it, and that's a balk.
Wow. That's like the 4th time we've seen a balk this year.
Balk City puts David Gahn over at third base. So now Jonathan Bravo has a chance to score. David Gahn at third, and that one's outside for a ball. Counts now 1-0 to Bravo. Bravo's 0-2 in this game, has walked on. Lance goes to look up some balk stats.
Let me see if I can find one. It's hard to find balks.
2-0 now to Bravo after that pitch is low and away.
The last time was right here against the Lorain County Ironman.
How ironic, against the Ironman. Here's the 2-0. That one's outside as well. So quickly 3-0 here to Jonathan Bravo, who went 3-0 when he walked in the 3rd inning. Here comes the 3-0, and that one's well in the dirt. So runners on the corners now after the second walk of the day for Jonathan Bravo, whose keen eye just keep putting him on base. So David Gahn with 2 outs, hit a double straight away to 400 feet to center field. Then was balked to third. And then after the walk to Jonathan Bravo, asking him to bring up Cale Giddings. He go 0-2 in this contest. Flew out to right field last time. Here's the first pitch. That one's in the dirt for a ball.
Looks like Kyle Ward, another guy from Walsh, one of 3 pitchers from Walsh, is out warming up in the Northern Ohio bullpen.
Cavalier heavy lineup. A lot of Walsh representation with runners on the corner here. Cale Giddings at the dish. That one's high as well. So 6 straight balls we've seen from Corey Blessing. Corey came into this game last inning after Mark Miniga went 5 innings. Gave up a hit. Back in the 6th, and also had a run scored on him. Runners on the corners now. 2-0 count to Giddings. Here comes the pitch. Outside corner for a strike after a brief delay. Blessing trying to get back on the track of things. Pitching from the set now with runners on the corners. The righty, the 6'4 righty, 180-pound junior from Ohio University. And that one is low for a ball. Jonathan Bravo definitely heavily in the minds of both Eric Eldred, the catcher, and Corey Blessing, who's on the rubber right now for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club, trying to avoid his 2nd consecutive walk. Here comes that 3-1. Bravo's moving. The hit and run is tipped backwards. So we have a full count now, the first of the game for Blessing. Blessing gets his pitch. He throws. Swung on and miss. So that's going to do it. So a couple runners left on again from the Scouts, especially David Gaunt. Stranded over there on an island at third base. Giddings goes down swinging. So the Scouts threaten to extend that 4-run lead, but going to the bottom of the 7th, it is still Xenia Scouts 5, Northern Ohio Baseball Club 1. And it looks like Will Cruz is coming out again. He keeps on cruising along as he moves to the 7th inning of this contest. Will Cruz has given up 1 earned run so far, has had a dominant day at the mound. Can't say enough positive things about Will so far today, especially considering his last start here at the Pipeyard did not go so well. Will came into this game with a 3.56 average, or ERA, so trying to improve that today. This is his 4th start of the season, and a no contest in his first game against the Monarchs. Got a victory in the 10-4 win against the Settlers in Licking County. And then the loss came in 5 2/3 innings of pitching and 5 earned runs against the Lorain County Ironmen. Lance, what's the side coming up for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club?
For Northern Ohio, we go 6-8-9. It'll be led off by Eric Eldred, their catcher. That'll be Kyle Holdsworth, their second baseman. Then Daniel Watson, their center fielder. And take a quick look at scores around the Great Lakes League. Southern Ohio Copperheads on top of the Lima Locos 6-0. That game didn't get any scoring until the 10th inning, so they're still in extras.
First pitch here to Eldred. That one's a bit high.
And in the bottom of the 6th inning up at Flat Rock, the Monarchs trail the Lorain County Ironmen 7-2.
So with the win from the Copperheads, they'll extend their lead as first place in the league. Scouts are hoping for a loss, and they would have moved to first place. Scouts, if they win this contest, will be 12-4 on the year. Copperheads, I believe, will move to 10-3, so they'll be percentage points above them. Now one's going to be fouled to the right as well as the wind picks up. You can see Old Glory over there in right center field, right above, I believe that's the 380 mark. Having some movement to it from the right to left. 1-2 count now to Eldred. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and that one's going to be jammed over to Kyle Carnahan at third. Throws to first and dug up by Kale Giddings for the out to start off the bottom of the 7th inning. So a nice 5-3 from Mr. Hot Corner to Kale Giddings. And that's going to bring up Kyle Holdsworth. Back in the 5th inning, singled to start off the inning. And it was advanced all the way to third. He thought he was going to score home after a single from Brett Kajanik, and then that gun from Levi Gilcrease held him over there at third, and the first pitch to him is high and inside for a ball. So Kyle Holdsworth, the second baseman, watches the second pitch go inside as well. So quickly 2-0 from Will Cruz, his 6th and the 3rd down here in this ball game. He's given up 5 hits, 1 earned run, and has 3 strikeouts. Got his last one back. 4 strikeouts. Got his last one back in the 5th inning. Now it's now 3-0 here to Holdsworth. Here comes the pitch, and that one's right down Main Street for a strike. 3-1 now to Kyle. See if he has the red light again with this 3-1 count. Winds and fires. And that one's outside. So the second walk of the day. Another free pass given up by Will Cruz. So that does set up the inning double play ball at second base for Daniel Watson. So the righty, Daniel Watson, coming up to the plate. As we have a meeting at the mound. Thomas Wanning's been warming up for a while now. I don't know if they're going to bring him in. He's still sitting over there, so I think they're going to try to keep with Will. Will's done a great job so far, trying to finish up his 7th inning of pitching here. As Kyle Holdsworth just got on with that walk. Going to that Holdsworth at bat. Cruz had 91 pitches on the day. So you got to think he's around 95, 96 now, depending on how fast point streak has been updated. So it'll be 94 officially after the walk. So this will be the 95th pitch, the first one of that bat to Daniel Watson. So if Will does get out of this inning, he will not come out for the 8th. I can guarantee that.
You can guarantee that?
I can guarantee that. So Watson at the dish. Runner on first. 1 out here. 5-1 Scouts. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That was a swing and a miss. Some nice gas that time from Will Cruz. Blazing it by Daniel Watson. As Holdsworth takes his lead. He's lurking over there on first base looking at the pitcher. And here comes the pitch, and that one's a bit low. The sinker goes a little too far low from Cruz. That's now 1-1. 1 out here. Scouts trying to get out of the 7th inning with this 5-1 lead intact. Here comes the 1-1. That one is fouled to the right side. Get out of the way, pitchers in the bullpen. Here comes Miles Wright, and it was there. Miles Wright not able to get there in time. I gotta wonder if the little bit of Miles Wright might have held up because he knew he was going to run into some of his teammates over there right where the ball dropped. 1-2 count now to Watson. We've seen Miles make a plethora of those beautiful catches in foul territory. Saw one against the Mariners in that first game sliding to his left and right field, and that one is thought going to be stealing was Holdsworth, but he fakes it. So count is now evened up at 2 apiece. Deuces squared in this count to Daniel Watson, the center fielder. Runner on first, 1 out. Here comes the pitch now. It's well outside. Zach Wiley able to cup that one up and makes it full. Another full count to Will Cruz, who was no stranger to full counts in this game. And it looks like every pitcher in the staff is warming up over there, Lance. We've seen Thomas wanting those a pickoff attempt over at Holdsworth. Keeps him honest at first. We do see Joe Chasen over there. He closed the first game. Maybe they want Will to finish 7th. Wanting 8th and then chase another close in the 9th. That one's ripped to deep left field, and Jonathan Bravo is able to ignore the swamp around him and put it away. They're going to throw it back to first. They will not. But 2 down now here in the bottom of the 7th. We've seen how Marshy does over there. I'm not sure what happened.
Neither am I. He must have just not gotten back to the base in time the way he's walking back over there. I think they got the out at first.
And they must have doubled him up. Holdsworth must have, for some reason, not touched first base again. Because I thought they were going to throw it over to first base. Or I'm not sure. That has to be it. They must have doubled him up. They must have not got back to the bag in time. I didn't see it. I stopped looking as soon as Lee Solomon didn't throw to first. And that's then end of the inning. So there's a double play somewhere. So we'll call that a 7-6-3 double play?
Yeah.
Huh.
I guess.
Might as well. As confusion strikes here at the Pipeyard in Lorain County, as there is going to be a from the Northern Ohio Baseball Club.
And it'll be Kyle Ward. We saw him warming up earlier. He's a lefty from Walsh. He's 6'1", 205. He's going into his senior year. He's originally from Independence, Ohio.
Kyle Ward, 6'2" righty, or 6'1" lefty, excuse me. Another Cavalier from Walsh. So Corey Blessing goes 2 innings. Gives up a run. A couple of hits. 3 of them to be exact. And Lance, I didn't see how it happened. How did Christian Binger go down in the top of the 6th inning?
Christian Binger, his last time up was in to start the 7th inning.
That's why I had it wrong. I wrote it down on the wrong side, and you flew out to right. Thank you, Lance.
And he flew out to right.
So 3 hits on the day, given up by Corey Blessing. In 2 innings of pitching. Also had a couple of strikeouts and a walk. It's not the best day in the world for Corey Blessing, but he also could have done a lot worse as the Scouts left a few men on. And Lance, what's the side coming up for the Xenia Scouts?
For the Xenia Scouts, it'll be 7-8-9. Started off with Levi Gilcrease. It'll be Zach Wiley and Miles Wright.
So we see Thomas Williams, the only pitcher remaining in the bullpen. You got to imagine he's going to do the setup role in the 8th, and Joe Chasen will probably try to close it out in the 9th. That is my prediction. As Kyle Ward is seeing his first action. His first pitch is outside for a ball to Gilcrease. Gilcrease got on with a single last time. From a throw that took handle off the bag over there at first. That's by the shortstop Reasoner. Two 2-0 Gilcrease now. Watch the first couple balls go by, and that one's a bit high. So quickly, 3-0 from Ward to Levi Gilcrease, who's 1 for 3 in the contest. Trying to get his 9th walk of the season. And you watch that one go by for a strike. (3-1) now to the center fielder from Baylor. Swings and misses everything on that one. That's going to make it full at 3-2. Levi, we've noticed on 3-1 counts, is always going to be swinging at it. He's looking for that pitch right down the middle. That time he saw his pitch but was unable to make contact with it. Came in this game batting .200 on the year. Does have 9 walks, looking for number 10. Comes a 3-2. That one was low and got Gilcrease to chase at it, and he goes down swinging for the 19th time this season. And that would do it for the first batter here in the top of the 8th inning. Scouts still at 5-1, so that's going to bring up Zach Wiley, who sacrificed last time. Moved Gilcrease from first to second. Here's first pitch to Zach, and that one's going to be fouled. Out of play to the right side. 0-1 now. From the lefty Ward. He winds and fires. That one's a bit high. Had a lot of movement on that ball, but it's way up in the zone for a ball. He evens it up at a buck apiece here. It's really starting to get dark here at the Pipeyard. That one's going to be hit to right center field. It's going to be put away by Damiano. Good communication between him and Daniel Watson. And right center, Zach Wiley is going to go for 0 for 3 today. And 2 down to start the top of the 8th inning. Miles Wright coming up to the plate. Miles had that RBI double last time. One for 3 today. Came into this game batting .283. That one misses away for a ball. 1-0 to Miles. If Miles can get on base, Lee Solomon will be up for the top of the order for the 5th time this game, as that one is foul behind us. Miles got under that one. Just tipped it too far behind the stands over here at the Pipeyard. 1-1 count, 5-1 lead for the Scouts, 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning. Scouts trying to win both of these games in the doubleheader. Here comes the pitch from Ward. That one is going to be fouled out of play to the right side. If he can straighten that one out, it would probably be another double from Miles Wright. But nevertheless, it is 1-2 now to the right fielder. Originally from the Houston, Texas area, and Katy Taylor High School, now plays his ball in Austin, Texas, the state capital at St. Edwards. Here comes that 1-2. That one's outside. Good eye by Wright. Making the right decision there to even the count up at 2-2 here to Kyle Ward. Ward, the 3rd pitcher of this game for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. We also saw Mark Midiga started for 5 innings and Corey Blessing in 2 innings of relief. Here comes the pitch, and that one's going to be fouled back again into those mayflies, and they're all over the field now. What have you done, Miles? You have unleashed the beast on the nest. 2-2 count. That's their problems. They're flying away from us, so I have no complaints. Miles at the dish. Here comes the even pitch at 2-2. Well outside, and Miles Wright yet again showing his patience at the plate. Working it to a full count. With his back against the wall, I don't know if there's anyone better and keeping his composure than the right fielder, Miles Wright.
Maybe Christian.
That's a good point, Lance. Very close. And that one's high, and Miles gets a walk out of it. So Miles Wright with the walk towards first. That'll be his 4th walk of the season. And it extends the top of the 8th inning, and we will go to the top of the lineup for the 5th time today. And Lee Solomon. Lee's 1 for 3. And Miles was running. That one's being grounded over there towards second. Slow roller. And that one's in the dirt, but picked up by Handel, and that will do it. And Solomon grounds out. That's unfortunate because of the hit and run, that did put Holdsworth in the perfect position to ground it. I don't know if it would have got past him. It was a pretty slow roller. Well, that would do it for the Scouts. And Lee Solomon, who is now 1 for 4 in this contest, scored twice and has walked.
We're going to see Thomas Wanning come in to start off this 8th.
So a great day on the mound for Will Cruz. He pitches 7 innings. Gets 3 strikeouts, gives up 2 walks. I had him at 5 hits. Lance can correct me on that if I'm wrong. And 1 earned run. So, unbelievable start from Will from Hillsdale College, the Charger from Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan.
How many hits did you say you thought Will had?
I thought he had 5.
Says 6 online.
I could be wrong.
Just saying.
I'll let Lance fact check that one for me, and we'll tell you if Lance had 5 or 6 hits given up on the game. But Thomas Wanning coming in for relief. Thomas had a rough start of the year, but has been in much better control as of recently. The pitcher from Xavier University, going to his sophomore year. He's a righty, and he throws all the way bent down at his waist. A sidearm pitcher to the max is Thomas Wanning. This will be Wanning's 8th appearance on the year. And here comes the pitch outside for a ball. Count is now 1-0. We're going to start at the top of the lineup for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. And Forrest Perrin, who is hitless today at 0-3. Now one's going to be hit. A slow dribble to Christian Binger. Picks up a second. Throws to the first in time. Christian Binger charges in like a wild horse. Throws it over to Cale Giddings to retire Perrin for the 4th time in this ball game. Second time, Binger has put him down. Last time Thomas Wanning pitch was in that 3-12 game against the Lorain County Ironmen right here at the Pipeyard. He gave up 5 earned runs in that one, so not his best outing. That one's going to be another slow roller to Christian, who throws to first, and deja vu goes down 1-2, and it's Brett Kajanik. Suffered the same fate as Forrest Perrin, as the wind is still picking up here. I really don't want another rain delay, Lance, so let's hope for no rain in the forecast as the wind continues to pick up.
Rain, go away, come again a day we're not playing.
Which isn't very often, so if it just goes away for pretty much the entire summer, I think we'd be all right with that. And Mike Reasoner is coming up to the plate. He's 0 for 3 in this contest, struck out the last 2 times. As Will Cruz had his number today. Back in game 1, he homered to left field. It was the first earned run of the year given up by Q McGrath, who now has 4 wins on the season after the team's 4-3 victory. That bounces off the mound. Lee Solomon picks up, throws to first, and in time, Cale Giddings, the 6'3", 245 gymnast, apparently, as he stretches all the way out with his right foot still on the bag to put away Reasoner for the 4th time in this ball game. Came in today batting .360. Doesn't go 0 for 4 very often. And after the nice play from Solomon, I don't know if that nipped off the ankle of Thomas Wanning or not. Might have hit off the rubber too. But definitely took a weird hop off the mound right into the waiting arms of Lee Solomon, who put in his glove, took it out with his right hand, threw it to first, and a diving play over there at first by Cale Giddings, getting full extension to put away a Reasoner. And we're going to the 9th inning, folks. After the Northern Ohio Baseball Club goes 1, 2, 3 for Wanning. I'll have to see if they send Joe Chase now, or they're going to have Wanning try to hold the game again in the top or the bottom of the 9th.
Well, Coach Cates has even said that Thomas usually does good for an inning, and then after that is when he struggles. So we'll see if they decide to stick with him.
Thomas Wanning, a perfect setup, man. Just did that in the 8th inning. Got 3 grounders in a row. 2 to second, 1 short, and he did his job. Joe Chasen did close out the first game to get that save. It won't be a save opportunity here as the Scouts are up by 4 runs at minimum as we're going to the top of the 9th inning. And Lance, who is coming up in the top of the 9th inning for your Xenia Scouts?
For your Xenia Scouts, it's exactly who started off the 7th inning. It would be Christian Binger, Kyle Carnahan, then David Gaunt.
So Binger 2 for 4 in this contest with a couple runs and an RBI. And Kyle Carnahan, he's 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI. A sac fly, struck out last time. First pitch from Ward to Binger. That one's inside for a ball. Kyle Ward in the 2nd inning of action. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. A big cut that time from Christian Binger. In his 1st inning, Kyle Ward struck out a batter, then got the next one to fly out, and Zach Wiley, then Miles Wright walked before Lee Solomon to ground out to 2nd as Christian tips that one back towards the black fisherman's netting, which is filled with mayflies from Lake Erie.
He also lost his bat.
So maybe needs a little more pine tar on it. We saw that in the first game with Wyatt Hogan, as he will apply some more stickum-esque material and get a tighter grip on that bat. Does the lefty from outside of Kansas City, Missouri. 1-2 count to Christian. Kyle Ward out on the rubber, and he throws a bit low. He talked about with Miles Rain. Lance brought up Christian Binger might be the most poised batter at the plate when the count's against him. We saw it there. Now it's a 2-2. And that one gets him looking, though, as a little too calm and collected was Christian as he watches strike 3 roll across the plate for the first strikeout of the day for Kyle Ward. Actually, that'll be number 2. Number 2 on the day for Kyle Ward. The 2nd Walsh pitcher we've had on the afternoon. First pitch inside to Kyle Carnahan is low. Scouts down to their last 2 outs of the game. We'll try to get the Northern Ohio Baseball Club out on the bottom of the 9th. And Carnahan is a little bit late on that one. And we do see Joe Chasen warming up in the bullpen. So you have to imagine that they're going to put in the hurler from Hillsdale in the game. It'll be hopefully a win for a Hillsdale pitcher and a closeout from Joe Chasen. And that one's going to be hit towards right center field. Damiano getting under that one. He's been worked in right field today and puts that one away. So 2 up, 2 down for the Scouts here in the top of the 9th. That's going to send up David Gaunt. Gaunt has been an impressive 3 for 4 in this game with a couple of RBIs and a couple of doubles. As he calls for time. As we usually mention on his broadcast, David Gaunt could have been drafted by the Texas Rangers. That first pitch goes outside. Decided he wanted to play his senior season at Washburn University with a great group of Christian guys, as he described it. So we got to be fortunate enough to have David for the rest of the summer. As the 2nd pitch goes low for a ball. Counts 2-0 from a man that's tied in the league with home runs in 4. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That one was low as well. So 3-0 to David Gaunt. Maybe they're pitching around him here.
Would you blame him?
I would not. He did have his last RBI with 2 outs back in the 7th inning. That one's across the plate for a strike right down Detroit Street. So 3-1 now to David. He did not score on that last double. He got balked to 3rd. And that one's outside. He'll be walked. So for the 4th time in a row, David Gaunt getting on. He finishes the day most likely 3 for 4, does the designated hitter. And they're striking out in the 1st inning to end it. He gets a double and also an RBI on that double, then a single RBI, and then a double, and now a walk to 1st. So just another unbelievable day for Mr. Everything, David Gaunt. That's going to bring up Jonathan Bravo, who cuts to that one, fouls it back into the mayflies. Yeah, this is now 0-1 for Bravo. Gaunt sitting over there on first base with 2 down here the top of the ninth. That one's also low. So 1-1 here to Jonathan Bravo from Texas Wesleyan, the Ram. He walked his last time up. Here comes the pitch, and that was a whale high. Remember, David Gaunt was caught stealing back in the 5th inning as Eric Eldred just gunned him down. Does have some speed over there. At first base, we have seen David play right field this year. Swung on and missed. Big swing and miss from Jonathan Bravo evens things up here. With 2 down in the top of the ninth, the last chance the Scouts have to extend this 5-1 lead. David Gaunt over there at first base after walking. Here's the pitch. And it's in there for a strike. So the second batter caught looking in this inning, and the 3rd strikeout of the day for Kyle Ward. So he gives up a walk. And 3 strikeouts in 2 innings of work and no runs. So good relief pitching from Kyle Ward. And we're down to the last inning of play. We're in the bottom of the 9th. And it's all on the big right arm of Joe Chasen to finish things off here. So Lance, what is going to be the last gasp of a chance for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club in this side?
So for Northern Ohio, it'll be 4-5-6. It'll start off with Hunter Handel, their first baseman. He flew out in his last at-bat to right field. Going to be Aiden Campbell, their 3rd baseman. And just like Hunter Handel, he flew out to right field in his last at-bat. And then it'll be Antonio Damianano. He grounded out to Lee Solomon over at shortstop. That was back in the 6th inning for all of those guys.